This is LBC 97.3. Call 0845 6060 973. Text 84850. Have your say with Iain Dale.
Now we're talking about shoplifting this evening after Anthony Worrell-Thompson was caught having stolen things from Tesco's 5 times in just 16 days. Apparently he was on one of these self-scanning things. And when they were first introduced, I thought, well, what a great thing for supermarkets to do, to actually send out the subliminal message to their customers, we actually trust you. I thought that was a great thing to do. Inevitably, there will be people that abuse that trust, and obviously Anthony Worrell-Thompson was one of them, but he won't be alone. But what is it that drives people to do that? Is it just because they think they can get away with it? Sort of, I steal because I can? Is it a form of addiction? Is it a simple thrill? Why do you think people shoplift? And as I say, if you have done it in the past, or maybe you do it habitually, give me a call. I'm not going to sort of rant and rave at you if you admit to me that you've done it. I just want to try and understand why people do it. And I'm sure everyone out there will be quite fascinated as to the sort of the thought process that leads people to do it. Now, obviously, there are going to be a lot of people that do it. They say, well, I do it because I have to. It's the only way I can exist. But is that really an excuse to steal from other people? 0845 6060 973. And what do you think the effect is on retail businesses? I mean, shops that people depend upon, small shops in your local community, they will have a shoplifting problem. And sometimes it can be people that they're on first name terms with will go in and habitually steal because they can. And of course, if you're in a small corner shop, obviously it's difficult for the shop owner to see in all corners of the shop. And I guess it might be seen to be easier. Now, give me a call if you are a shop owner or if you work in a large department store, maybe in the West End. What effect is shoplifting having on your business? 0845 6060 973. And remember, you can phone in without giving your real name. I'm just trying to understand why this happens. Jane says, I think Argos have the right idea, less temptation. When I used a buggy, eyes used to follow me around the shops, and what is worse is when you accidentally put something in the buggy with the fear you might innocently walk out with it. It happened once, but I turned straight back round and paid for the item. I would never open a shop. Online shopping is more cost effective and with less risk. Well, a number of really good points in that text there from Jane. I think we've all done that, haven't we? We might have walked out without paying for something on occasion when we genuinely hadn't meant to. But have you always gone back and paid for it? I've only done that once I can think of, and I did go back and pay for it. But I really wondered if they would sort of read me the right act. But actually, they were just very grateful. Winston from Kent says, what would tempt me to shoplift is to fall on hard times. Even if you go to prison, it's a warm place with 3 meals a day and free medical care. Don't think that would incentivise me. Let's talk to Anne in Greenwich. Hello, Anne.
Hi.
Hello. What would you like to say?
Yeah, I was caught shoplifting 3 times, twice from major superstores. So, yeah.
And now 3 times. If you were caught, were you fined? Were you issued with a fixed penalty?
No, I wasn't actually, but I'd actually been doing it for like about 2 years before being caught.
Right.
The first time it was actually in our local supermarket, so they kind of knew me already, which was really bad. They knew my family, and they knew my mum as well, and they just couldn't believe it. Like, they'd seen me grow up and stuff, and they just couldn't understand it, like my background and everything. And it was just the random things I stole. It was only ever food. They were just so confused and so disappointed in me, and I was just so ashamed. I just didn't know. It was a horrible experience, yet for some reason I just couldn't stop, and I didn't know why, and I knew I'd be caught eventually. That's the thing, I knew that eventually I would get caught, and I kept doing it. So it doesn't make sense to my own mind, really.
So you still haven't really understood why you did it yourself? You can't explain it to yourself?
I can, sort of, in a way. I had a problem with food anyway. So, that's why, I guess. I just I used to like go back to my boyfriend's house at the time and like loads of food, and he'd be like, "What the hell? You spent that much money?" And when we could be going out and having fun like normal 18-year-olds, and I was just like, I don't really care. The thing is, I wasn't obviously spending any money on it. Then after that, it was another one, and this time the police were called. That was the most horrible feeling ever, and I was just like, why the hell? What is wrong with me? Why didn't I stop the first time? I can't believe this, and in front of everyone, I was brought back to the office, and I felt so sick, and I waited there for hours and hours, and I was thinking, they were like, why have you stolen like a bag of sugar, like 3 bars of chocolate, and it was like quite a lot of money's worth of food, but it was still low value sort of items, kind of like Anthony Worrell Thompson did.
So that was the second time. What about the third time?
The third time actually, that was actually the last time one of us mentioned. The third time was actually the first time, but that was from a very small shop.
Right.
And they just chased me off kind of thing. They didn't know me or anything.
So how long ago was the last time, Anne?
3 years.
And what made you stop after that? Just the horrific experience of that, or the shame that you felt? I think I basically I had to just sort of force myself. I had counselling already, so I finally admitted it to my counsellor and spoke about it. I think I was let off by the police just because I was cooperative, and I thought I shouldn't have been let off, really. I've been very lucky. I mean, so I admitted to them as well about being caught before, and I still don't think I should have been let off. I think it's kind of, I don't know why I was really, but they did, and I thought I'm not going to be let off again. So, I just thought I told my mum about it all and everything. What was her reaction?
Sorry?
What was her reaction?
My mum was disgusted with me. She's absolutely appalled. I mean, she still says it's the most disgusting thing ever. I mean, I was banned from the shop that I was brought up going to. It's near our house. So that was embarrassing to her, and she had to explain to my dad why I wasn't allowed in there anymore, and it was just really, really embarrassing to everyone. And it didn't make any sense to her because I had money. I bought clothes and things with my money, and I bought like things that normal teenagers buy, yet I was stealing like chocolate. It didn't make sense to her.
I mean, a friend of mine this happened to. The one of their parents said, "Well, have we brought you up wrong?" And it's nothing to do with that, actually, is it?
Yeah, that's what I tried to explain, but like I think parents blame themselves really easily. I said to my mum, like, no, obviously it's nothing you've done. I'm not. You're not a bad parent. It's just I don't know what happened, but it's hard to explain because they don't understand really how it is.
And I mean, I was going to say you've been clean for 3 years, but you know what I mean. You haven't done it. You haven't done it for 3 years.
Yeah, it was kind of like an addiction, though. So yeah, I guess I have been clean for 3 years.
And are you absolutely confident you'll never do it again?
I'm absolutely confident now. I think a few times after that, within the next few months, I felt really unsure when I went into shops and things, and so I just sort of steered clear of like shops when I was on my own for a while until I really became like the thought of doing it again was just gone. So now the thought of actually stealing something scares the hell out of me, and I couldn't ever do it again.
Yeah.
Just the thought of the person like calling, excuse me, just scares me.
Well, Anne, thank you so much for